This class is provided by Sika, guys. As you know, there is no cost to the class. There are no hidden charges, nothing you have to pay to attend the session, to practice, to solve your question in regards to the PTE. And also we impart a lot of tips, strategy, past exam question memories with you, recent exam question memories with you, so that you can achieve your target score easily. So this is a very good and useful platform for the student. And right now, if you're not available to take the class online while it is going on, running on, the session is, you can still go through the posted videos of the lecture, the recorded videos, and there you can assess all the information provided, and also you can see even the past exam results. Our quality speaks for itself. You can see the results which we latest we got. It got 90 overall, with 19 listening, 19 speaking, and 87 in writing, and 84 in listening, which is sorry, reading, which is extremely good score. So also, we do offer the education counseling as usually mentioned, and anybody is after any study specifically for the university study, for the college studies, for any diploma, degrees, postgrad course, or more than that, you can come down for the free inquiry to us. And also the migration counseling, we keep on sharing all the latest updates with you. Just in case you are after some specific piece of advice, let us know. You can call on this number, and we'd happily sharing that information to you in regards to your PR pathway. So recently I told you there was a video uploaded in regards to Tasmania. So I hope you have watched that video and got the knowledge in regards to that particular pathway. So as we were talking about the listening, so listening, as you know, it got 8 item types in there. So first of all, we will be doing the summarized spoken text question. I'll be making you hear a recording, and after listening to the recording, you have to write a summary of 50 to 70 word, and I'll be giving you 10 minutes for writing that summary. And here, as you will be listening and then you are writing your response, so your both skills will be assessed, the listening as well, the writing as well. And the prompt length you will be hearing for this one is going to be 60 to 90 seconds, right? So we will be hearing the audio, writing minimum 50, max 70 word summary, and we got 10 minutes to write that summary, right? And as you know, this will be the instruction on the screen, and what you will be taking as notes, you will be taking all the points, notes where the speaker have put a lot of emphasis or word stress, right? Any support which is acting as a supporting detail to the main point, right? Any particular noun dates you are hearing in that. So these sort of things you will be noting down while you are listening the lecture. And this is the template you will be using for the SPT, which is summarized spoken text. And if you're able to pick few words only, still you will be able to frame a good summary. But yes, if you're able to pick good phrases, main content, supporting details, then you'll be in a better position to frame a summary. And definitely more marks on content, more marks on everything. So it's better. Just let me drag it away. All right. So I will be now making you hear one short lecture, and then you will be writing a 10-minute summary on that, and I'll be assessing, and I'll be also telling you what could be the possible right answer. So here we are hearing the first summary for today, and as I told you, this is going to be the past exam questions majorly. All right, so this is the one you will be hearing now. So I hope you are taking notes. Be ready to take notes. I am just turning it on, the volume and everything is fine with it. And after that, when it is finished, you will be having 10 minutes onward to write the answer. So here it will begin now.
There's sugar in a lot of foods where you don't expect it. Of course, there's lots of sugar in donuts or ice cream, pastries, or other things that are sweet, candy, of course. But there are other places where you see it and you don't necessarily expect it. As an example, peanut butter. Here's a list of ingredients from Skippy peanut butter. And you see that sugar is the second most common ingredient. You may know from reading food labels that these ingredients in any food label are listed in order of how much there is in the food itself. So sugar comes right after peanuts. Here's another example. Beef stew. You wouldn't necessarily expect to find sugar in beef stew, but it's there. Now it's down the list of ingredients. It's actually toward the end. But if you look at the marketing of this and look at the can, it says there's fresh potatoes and carrots. But actually, there's more sugar in this than there is carrot.
So that was the lecture. It's 11:14. I'm giving you 10 minutes till 11:24. And then we will be discussing what could be the possible right summary for this one. Four minutes has passed. So you are left with 6 minutes. So after the 10 minutes, I'll be presenting here what could be the most probable answer which will fetch you much marks. So what type of the contents need to be there in the summarized spoken text we are doing right now. And of course, we are hearing the recording for once only. That's true for the entire item types of the speaking. There is no second time for the recording. I'll be showing you almost two possible responses. It's 11:20, only 4 minutes left for the response. After that, I'll be sharing the original response to you. Three minutes. Use the template if you're not sure about how to start, how to end the sentence, and how we can uh, frame better sentences in the right grammar structure. Follow the template, and if you feel comfortable that I can go my own way, I can frame sentences well, my grammar is fine, and you are pretty much sure about that, spellings are also good, then simply write in your own words. But remember that 50 need to be the minimum word, 70 need to be the maximum word. And as we just left with only roughly around 2 minutes, so this will be the time for typing your response. Use the 2 minute. All right, so it's 11:23, so I'll share the response according to the lecture just heard. These two can be the possible right responses which will fetch you good marks, right? So the first say, the speaker main topic is sugar. The speaker states a lot of sugar in food, lovely food such as donut, ice cream where sugar is the main ingredient. The speaker spoke about how peanut butter has a lot more sugar than one realizes. The speaker spoke about how one would not realize that beef stew surprisingly contains more sugar, particularly towards the end. You see in this lecture, particularly he mentioned the speaker mentioned three category of the food: donut and ice cream, which actually we know like a lot of sugar in there. The content is much for the sugar parameters, right? And then they move to the peanut butter, where it is there but no one realizes. And thirdly, just like in beef stew, they say the fresh carrots and onions, potatoes, but the thing is, right, they are not there, right? And there is more sugar, particularly towards the end. So containing the three main points in the summary is equal to having good mark on the content. And how well we can write it, like obviously we are writing 50 to 70 word, we are making sentences, our grammar, our spelling, our punctuation marks, everything is assessed here. So this is one response which will fetch you good marks, right? Out of 10, this is a 10 mark question. So out of 10, this will be around 9.678. This is how the response will be. And here there is a small spelling error, mistyped the thing, right? And no spacing in cannot. The second response is the lecture was discussing sugar. So that was the prime content. Firstly, the speaker provides information. Ice creams, pastries, and candies are the fundamental elements, right? And remember that, guys, in the template as well, I have given you a sequence. The speaker beginning with, initiated the talk with, and then further mention, highlighted, right? And orator stressed on. So you see these all connectors, they are basically adding more marks to your score, right? Overall score from this particular item type. Now this response, it got the main content, right? But if I'm giving a sequence to the contents I'm mentioning here, or the main keynotes I'm mentioning here, definitely this will fetch more marks comparative to this one. If it's gonna be 9.5, this is gonna be 9.8. This is how this is important. Like you should always go with some connectors to start the sentence. So secondly, the unique aspects of places, ingredients, and food labels were delineated. He asserted that, you see, these all this all startings, they are beautiful, and they are just clarifying, okay, this is the next point, this is the second thing, this is what he asserted, that, right? Significance of marketing: canned potato, carrots cannot be underestimated. Finally, he deduced that example from what elaborated on listed in orders. So this will be, maybe it can be 10 on 10 as well, but it will be surely 9.8 as well, right? And this will be a little less, not bad, but yeah, it will be like 9.6, which is pretty much close, right? So this is how the response to this particular lecture can be, right? Let me just make you hear the another lecture. And this is exactly as I told you earlier, past exam question. And let's hear the next one.
I suppose you wouldn't expect perhaps to find a mathematician in a
Okay, I just started over again, just a sec. So it will be beginning in 7 seconds. Now it will begin.
I suppose you wouldn't expect perhaps to find a mathematician in a museum of historical objects, but actually the objects that I've been drawn to in this museum have quite a lot of mathematical significance. These Neolithic stones discovered in Scotland, dating back 5,000 years, are probably the first examples of humans exploring the concept of symmetry. And that's what I do as a practicing mathematician. I spend my life trying to understand what symmetries are possible in nature and in mathematics and abstractly. And here, I've got a connection going back 5,000 years to people who are already trying to understand, how can I arrange patches on the side of these stone walls in a symmetrical manner? One of the intriguing things about these stones is that we don't actually know what they're for. They might have been for divination, trying to predict the future. They might have been part of a game. They look very much like dice, but we don't really think there's any game associated with them. Maybe they were just for chucking around. They're very nice in the hand when you hold them. Or maybe they were symbols of power in the clan. I suppose that's why I like them, because we don't really know what they are. If I had a theory about why they were doing this, it would be that actually they were starting to be mathematicians. And that here we see the first example of abstract thought at work, that these weren't for a purpose. Mathematics is a subject, created a lot of the technology around us, but conditions we create our mathematical objects for the joy and the beauty. So lovely to think these didn't actually have a use, they were just really a celebration of what is possible.
So that was the lecture, and now this is the time you will be having for making a summary of that. After 10 minutes, I'll be telling you what could be the possible summary of that. And obviously, as you know, the actual lecture will be only once it will be played, right? And it is around 1 minute and 45 seconds that what you heard. So that's your time. It's 11, let's say 11:30. So 11:40, we will be discussing the possible answers to this particular lecture. Take your time. Seven minutes to answer. 5 minutes. Four minutes. So this is the actual time we are following. That's how it will be in the final exam as well. So this is called 10 minutes. So this will give you a real idea how much time you have to answer the question. Okay, 38, 2 minutes left. So now I'll be sharing the answer to the question. What could be the possible answer to the recording we just heard? And this recording was about stone balls. That was the title of the recording. So here we go with the answer. Just a sec, sharing the screen, pasting it up. So I'll be sharing again two possible answer to the question, and this will give you an idea. Okay, so let me just share these one with you. Give me a second, guys. So they both are extremely good, the answers itself. So here it is. The lecture talks about mathematics and humans exploring the concept of the symmetry. Firstly, he focused on paths in a symmetrical manner and prediction of the future. Secondly, he also mentioned that symbol of power, the theory of mathematics, look dice. Lastly, the lecture denotes that their mathematics created technology. So this response is quite impressive, right? Again, I'm telling you, it got a sequence. Firstly, secondly, lastly, lecture talks about an introduction, a conclusion, a series of the key informations, right? So it will be like out of 10, 10 on 10. Then this one, second one, firstly, uh, what's the issue with that? I don't know what the issue is with that. So it says, firstly, the speaker talks about the Neolithic stones. Secondly, she said that stones found in Scotland 5,000 years back, right? First example of human exploring the concept of symmetry, right? The spelling you see, this is different, but yeah, the previous one uh, are right. Then she said the stones look beautiful in hands, but we do not know what they are for. Lastly, the speaker says that mathematicians create our mathematical objects for joy and beauty. In conclusion, this lecture is very informative. So you see this, these both responses are great, different approach, right? But still, you will be receiving good marks if you are writing your response for this lecture in the same way, right? I don't know why this is like that. All right, leave it. So these are the two possible responses for the lecture we just heard. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Give me a second, please. So after the summarized spoken text, the next question we will be looking today, it is multiple choice, multiple answer question. So as we just completed the reading, so a day before yesterday, we did multiple choice, multiple answer and multiple choice, single answer for reading. So here also we following the same strategy, but the difference is this time we don't have reading in front of us. We have to listen to the recording and we have to find answer from that audio itself. There is no text given on the screen as like in the reading. So here we will be listening to recording and answer a multiple choice question on the content or tone of the recording by selecting more than one response. Skill assessed will be listening only, and the recording time is 40 to 90 seconds. So again, the recording will play automatically. You are not able to play or pause or stop the recording. So the options will be there on the screen with the question, and you will be selecting the option by clicking the left key of the mouse. Whatever option you will be selecting, it will highlight in yellow. You want to change your mind, deselect that, select any other option. And this is your screen for the particular question. Again, when you're hearing the lecture, you have to focus to the main points and supporting detail in the lecture, because normally the questions will be definitely based on the main points or the supporting detail. So what happened as a result of the arrival of colonists? So what are the things happened after their arrival? So we got five option. Out of that, maybe two are true, three are true, or maybe four are there in the lecture. You never know, right? There is no parameter to judge like how many options will be correct. So this is how you will be looking at the option. And just in case you feel like, okay, I know only one option which is I'm pretty sure about, but the second one I heard it but I'm not sure about, don't mark it, because multiple choice multiple answer question got the negative marking. So just in case your answer is not right, you will be getting -1 for that. So it's very important. I'll be marking only options I am pretty sure about. Out of five given, four given, maybe it's one only, but that's okay. Rather than losing the mark, the earned one as well, it's better to secure that earned mark, right? So we have to make use of the 7 second. That mean when we are looking at the screen, the 7 second is the time to begin the audio to begin. So that is the time we will be looking at the question, reading it, looking at the option, reading it, and taking out the keywords from the option, right? And after that, when we are listening, we have to shortly list the option while listening. And if we're not pretty sure about at that very moment, quickly take a note of that point, like this is what they were saying, and I will be comparing later when the audio is finished, right? So just like that, you can select the option while listening as well, or maybe you just take notes while listening in regard to the options you are hearing. And after that, you can look and assess your option and mark whatever you feel is the right one, right? And obviously taking keynotes are helpful. If you are able to take, definitely take them. And when you're done with the hearing, you have taken few keynotes, then review them, and according to consider all the option, and then finalize what which are right for the ask question. And do not skip any option, because you never know, you haven't read it properly, maybe that is the one option which is true, because every option will be in a paraphrased way. It won't be said in the same manner as it will be there in the recording. It won't be written on the screen. So synonyms will be used, different sentence structure will be used, right? Paraphrasing. So we have to understand the meaning and then compare the meaning of the statement to whatever we have heard in the lecture. So that makes it a bit tricky, but yes, with practice nothing is difficult. We can achieve it really easily as well, right? So now we will be doing two question with MCQ and selecting the option from that. These are very quick question, guys, won't take much time. And such like that, there will be 2 to 3 question in the exam. So here we go with this first question. So it got 4 options, and I'll just share the screen with the question on it. So it says, what can be inferred about New York City? So this is the question. It got four options, and you have to select. So just a second, I'm looking into the audio. Just a second, bear with me. Going to the audio for the same. So American. Just a sec, guys. Give me a moment, please. Yeah, here you go.
A discussion in a history class.
Did anyone happen to catch the American metropolis last night? It was about the growth of cities. I didn't see that, but I did see part of a documentary last week that told about a guy, I think he was a visitor from another country, who wrote a book about the growth of industry and so on, the things we've just studied. I remember he said there was a huge population explosion that turned America into a nation of cities all within a decade. He was talking mostly about Baltimore. Baltimore then or now? In the 19th century, right after the Civil War. The program you saw was part of the same series as the one I want to tell you about. Last night, the topic was New York City. As early as 1880, the federal government wrote a report on how the 5 separate municipalities of New York actually constituted one vast metropolitan area. It was a progressive way of thinking at the time, and within 20 years, those 5 municipalities were officially united as a single city by a vote of the people. To this day, however, each borough maintains traces of its original independence. I agree with that. I'm from Brooklyn, and it's definitely different from the rest of New York.
All right, so this was the recording. And on the basis of the recording, you have to mark the answers which are correct. And what can be inferred about the New York City? So first thing which can be inferred is it was originally 5 cities, right? Which is true answer. And where they said it in the recording? So it says he was talking, the programs are part of the where I want to last topic as early as 1880. The federal government wrote a report on how the 5 separate municipalities of New York actually constituted one vast metropolitan area. So that makes the first option correct, right? It was originally 5 cities. The second option is D. It has brought, no, sorry, it has a borough called Brooklyn, right? So here it is. And definitely to this day, however, each barrel maintained traces of its original independence. I agree with that. I am from Brooklyn, and it's definitely different from rest of the New York, right? So that makes the D option correct. A and D stands true for the recording we just heard. Let's do one more. It is again about what can be inferred about starlings. So look at the question. We will be hearing recording in 7 seconds.
Listen to a conversation between 2 students on a field trip.
Look, isn't that a house finch? No, I think it's just a little brown sparrow. It seems reddish to me, and its song is like a recording we heard of a house finch. Professor Flynn said we'd probably see a lot of red finches today. Well, maybe you're right. We'd better write it down anyway. But I still say it's too brown to be a house finch. I'll put a question mark by it. We've sure seen enough starlings. I didn't even know they lived in the city. I can remember hearing my cousin complain about how the starlings always ate all the fruit in their orchard. They are kind of pretty, though, don't you think? Look at how the black is mixed with a little green, making their feathers look iridescent.
So that was the recording for this question. And as per the recording we just heard, what can be inferred about starlings? So basically they are the birds they are talking about. So the first answer which is right out of the 4 option is A. They live in rural and urban areas. So it is like, I'll tell you where they have said it. I didn't even know they lived in the city as well. I can remember hearing my cousin complain about the how the starling is always ate all the fruits in the orchard, right? So basically that is a problem with the starlings, that they also live in the urban areas, and what they do, they eat all the fruits in their orchard. So B, okay, coming from here. And option A, which is saying they live in rural and urban comes from this area. And then the first thing, like urban one, rural one coming from the sentence, that students on a field trip, obviously they were on a rural trip, so they were thinking of seeing a sparrow which is brown in color, and some say it is reddish to them. So it is available there as well, starlings in rural area and urban areas as well, where they are problem for fruit growers because they ate all the fruits in the orchards. So A and B stands right when we are listening to this recording. So this is what we will be marking as the answer, and if we marking these two we will be getting 2 marks. If we marking any other, we will be getting -1 for every wrong answer we just ticked here, right? So just like that, there will be 2 to 3 such questions in the in the PT exam, sorry. And here we go back to the slides. So just like that, we did the MCQ multiple choice. The next will be the MCQ single answer, right? So there we are selecting one single response, and the audio will be small, 30 to 60 second. In the MCQ multiple, it is 40 to 70. And again, we are selecting the answer on the basis of the lecture we just hear on the content and tone of the lecture. But the most important thing here, that we are not having any negative marking. So out of 4 options given, 5 given, whatever you feel the most appropriate one, you mark that option. You get 1 mark if it's right, you get 0 if it's not right, right? And you are selecting only one response, so that makes it a bit easy. But this time we have to play more focus on the question itself rather than more on the options. We have to focus more on the question. So the question, if it's about, okay, the main idea behind the lecture, or the main supporting detail in the lecture, what could be the possible summary of the lecture. So that means these are overall sort of things we are looking at. So that's why it's important to look at the question, understand it, because that will be telling us what we are hearing this lecture for, and definitely that gonna help us a lot. So this is how we will be progressing toward the MCQ single answer tomorrow, and definitely trying to complete the other item types in the listening as well. So this is, we will be continuing tomorrow. And this class, guys, you know that this class is provided by Sika, free of the cost. And the one thing I might need to mention here, that we also deal in USA visa. Have any query in regards to that, kindly do contact on the given number. Maybe you can leave a text message, maybe you can leave a message on the Facebook page, and keep connected to the Facebook page, because there you will be getting a lot of updates, information in form of the webinars, post, and the information in relation to the seminars which are we are holding in the offices, and that's for free, and they are throughout the day. So there's a various platform you can gather a lot of information without paying anything, right? So just in case you have any particular piece of advice, just let us know, give us a call on the number. Definitely we are there to help you. The people here, the counselors, the migration counselors, they are got lot of year of experience in this particular field, and they'll be the best guidance available in the market. All right, guys. So this is about today class. We'll be continuing listening tomorrow as well and trying to finish off the listening item types tomorrow. So till then, bye bye. Take care. Have a good day ahead. So I'm ending this meeting now. Bye bye, guys.